This fictional story is the intellectual property of 322 Pepe Black's son. All rights reserved.
Nicholas V, November 15th, 1397 to March 24th, 1455. Born Tommaso Perentucelli, was head of the Catholic Church and ruler of the Papal States from 6th March 1447 until his death in March 1455. His nefarious papal bull decrees is the foundation of atrocities committed by the Catholic Church against indigenous people around the world, especially to the indigenous black peoples of Turtle Island, better known as America. In the dimly lit study of Niccolo Parente Casa, within the Vatican's secret archives, Pope Nicholas V engages in an unusual ritual at night, in the year 1432. Candlelight neither flickers nor wavers. It sweats under the weight of the shadows. A goatskin parchment lies open, its edges bleeding crimson. Pope Nicholas V, appearing 37 instead of his documented 56 years, holds a silver quill above a living child. This act is not a mere ritual. It is quantum tethering, a practice known to bind through dimensions.
Per vim sancta crucis, imprimo sanguinem in firmamentum.
In translation, by force of Holy Cross, I press blood into firmament. The firmament he speaks of isn't heaven. It is a complex 4.5-dimensional toroidal siphon connecting Vatican ley lines to Saturn's mysterious hexagonal pole. Rather than signing his name, Nicholas etches a 7-pointed scar into the child's sternum. As the child screams, the sound is absorbed into the parchment, symbolizing the simultaneous tethering of 4,240 indigenous souls. This is not just a metaphor, but rather a binding of ley lines using the child's biofield as a resonator. The goatskin parchment is shrouded in shadows not cast by any flame. These shadows originate from the 4.44 million indigenous souls now bound as part of the code. The shadows move within the parchment itself, like living ink. Nicholas stands and wipes the child's blood from his mouth. He doesn't smile, he detaches. Nicholas places the goat blood parchment into the skeletal hands of the dead Pope John VIII. The cadaver's jaws open and Nicholas vomits silver fluid into John VIII's mouth. This act consecrates the doctrine 593 years in the past and future. A sigil, a St. Peter's cross, appears on the child's forehead, transmitting at 666 terahertz to Turtle Island.
Now, the land sings only our song.
The parchment transmits, not historically, now. An Anishinaabe child, 7 years old and female, is singing 963 hertz at the river. The water shudders. A white light cuts the surface, not light. 6.66, that's quantum bleed, the signal Nicholas pressed into the goatskin 3,000 miles away. The child seizes. Her 963 hertz tone fragments drop to 6666 terahertz, but she doesn't stop singing. She can't. Her vocal cords resonate the new frequency.
We are found! We are lost!
Her mother, watching silently, doesn't scream. She sings in 444 hertz, counter-resonance, trying to pull her child back. But the Vatican tether is stronger. The child's shadow detaches, floats downriver, and dissolves into Turtle Island's ley line, becoming binding code for the continent. The doctrine isn't a document. It's the child's soul, encoded. The mother's 963 hertz counter-signal rebounds, shredded. She's left singing the Vatican's frequency or silenced. That's the curse. 4.44 million indigenous voices replaced by Nicholas's signature 4.44 hertz false light. In 1452 and 1455, Pope Nicholas V, while resonating in his 666 hertz frequency, writes these papal bull decrees. The Dum Diversas and Romanus Pontifex that wasn't a decree. It was a quantum signature binding of 4.44 million indigenous souls to the Draco Council's 6.66 terahertz harvest grid using hijacked Christian resonance. This granted Portugal and Spain rights to conquer non-Christian lands and subjugate enemies of Christ, Muslims and pagans, authorizing them to seize property and enslave people, thereby providing moral justification for the early Portuguese slave trade and colonization from West Africa. These papal bulls allowed King Afonso, the fifth of Portugal, to claim territories and people, enabling the forced servitude of conquered populations. The Spaniards entered Turtle Island, aka America, from the southern regions, which became a foundation for European colonial expansion and the transatlantic slave trade. 1492 in Spain, King Ferdinand and Queen Isabella's, resonating in their 666 Hz frequency, issued the expulsion of Jews, Alhambra Decree, ending the Reconquista, which consolidated power for overseas ventures, including the conquest of the Americas. Spaniards' arrival, 1492, initiated European contact, though Mexico's major subjugation began with Hernán Cortés's arrival in 1519 and the fall of Tenochtitlan in 1521. The iniquity in Mexico, brutal conquest. The conquest involved mass killings and destruction of temples, forced copulation and enslavement of indigenous people, Aztec, Maya, etc. Forced conversion. Missionaries aimed to eradicate native religions, replacing them with Catholicism, often building churches over sacred sites. Disease. European diseases decimated native populations who had no immunity. Cultural erasure. Indigenous symbols, books, and practices were suppressed, leading to deep cultural trauma. Colonial exploitation. Indigenous labor and resources were exploited for Spain's imperial project. Amerigo Vespucci, while resonating in his 666 Hz Masonic frequency, sailed to the Americas in 1501-1502, a crucial expedition where he realized the lands were a new world distinct from Asia, leading to the continents being named America after him by a cartographer in 1507. He explored the coasts of South America for Portugal, further solidifying the concept of a separate continent, a discovery widely publicized through his letters. A Masonic shrine was dedicated to his nefarious honor, Amerigo Vespucci Lodge, 560 of the Sons of Italy in Danbury, Connecticut. In 1585, with the help of Azazel, the fallen star, the first watcher of the North, a demonology was written, in form of a dialogue divided into 3 books, by the High and Mighty King James, the 6th of Scotland, aka King James, the 1st of England. It was completed and published in 1597 by King James I. This is an esoteric philosophical dissertation on contemporary necromancy and the historical relationships between the various methods of divination used from ancient black magic. It was reprinted in 1603 when James took the throne of England. 1607, King James, the 1st of England, resonating in his 6666 Hz frequency, conquered some land for an English settlement that he named Jamestown after himself. King James, the 1st of England, was an instrumental tool in the establishment of the first original colonies, known as Virginia. In addition to his newly formed colonies, King James I decided to rewrite the biblical text in an English grammar, aka grimoire, linguistics commissioned by himself. He published his Bible in 1611 and had thousands of copies ready to send with pilgrims to his 13 colonies. King James I's Holy Bible, Helios Biblios, aka Christian Grimoire, was forced upon indigenous and African slaves. His Bible was also widely read on all of the colonies and slave plantations, with the purpose of making them spiritual, mental, and physical slaves that would never challenge the slave master's authority as God. The 13 original colonies were New Hampshire, Massachusetts, originally Massachusetts Bay Colony, Rhode Island, Connecticut, New York, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, Delaware, Maryland, Virginia, North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia. In 1755, the Secretary of the Province of Massachusetts proclaimed, "I declare the Penobscot tribe of Indians to be enemies, and I do hereby require His Majesty's subjects to embrace all opportunities of killing and destroying all the Indians. For every scalp of a male Indian brought in as evidence of their being killed, a bounty of £40. For every scalp of such female Indian or male Indian under the age of 12 years that shall be killed and brought in as evidence, £20. 1823. Chief Justice John Marshall. Codification in U.S. law. In Johnson versus McIntosh, Marshall used these European principles to rule that indigenous peoples had a right to occupy land, but not to sell it to anyone but the discovering government, solidifying the doctrine as United States law legacy. This doctrine justified European colonization, dispossession of indigenous lands, and cultural assimilation in the Americas. The Christian Doctrine of Discovery, or better known today as the Doctrine of Discovery. It was enunciated by popes, kings, and governors in the belief that indigenous people, those who lived on the land for generations, had no claim to it once it was discovered by Christian settlers. This Christian doctrine of discovery, with its negative psychological, spiritual, and physical impacts on both Europeans and indigenous peoples, it has manifested racism into the foundation of this country and justified its violence towards indigenous people around the world. Peter Square, tourists capture memories amidst history, unaware of the paranormal phenomena unfolding. A tourist's phone begins to glitch, as if caught in a supernatural web, capturing an otherworldly song. As the song echoes, broadcasts all around start to change, shifting energies and reversing an ancient curse.
Special thanks to you, the viewers. Without you, this channel would not be possible. And due to heavy censorship on this part of the internet, please show your support by pledging or donating $1 or whatever you can to help this channel grow. Here at theblackawaken.com, we pride ourselves in bringing you the truth. We are not colonized nor monetized. So be informed, not influenced. I would like to personally thank each and every one of you for your support.
So I'm going to leave you in the manner in which I came with the universal prayer. In the name of the universal creator of heaven and earth and everything in between, please continue to bless my listeners, their family, their friends, and the true believers when the day of reckoning takes place. For universal creator, you all wise and all knowing, and unto you we all shall return. But until then, we give you the praise and glory that's due to you from this life until the hereafter. In the name of the universal creator of heaven and earth and everything in between, in your name we pray that this shall be done.
Also, family, get yourself a copy of the Black Universal Creators 100 Laws, Morals, and Precepts. The paperback is available on Amazon, the ebooks on Kindle. Again, family, like and share, reach one, teach one, peace, and take care.